Tenants who killed their landlords, and we have Ashwani Shamlodia. West Chicago, Illinois landlord Michael Lee discovered his tenant Ashwani Shamlodia was engaged in an adulterous affair with his wife. And, as you can imagine, he was none too happy about it. However, it was Shamlodia who had murdered his landlord, as we could have guessed. Shamlodia, a native of India who had worked at Lucent Technologies in Naperville, had rented a room for about 6 months from Lee and his wife, or Susan as she was known. When Lee confronted Shamlodia about this tryst, a fight broke out between the two men. Ultimately, Shamlodia killed the landlord, adding arson to murder when he set the townhouse afire in an attempt to cover up what he had done. Shamlodia faced 2 trials. During the first, he was convicted of arson, but not murder. The tenant testified that a stranger entered the home and attacked both men during an argument before fleeing. At the second trial, he said he'd struck Lee in self-defense after being attacked with a knife and a hammer, and then lied to avoid being dishonored. The outcome of the second trial was a little bit different. Prosecutors claimed that Shamlodia committed the crime out of jealousy, not self-defense. He was sentenced to 26 years in prison, out of the maximum sentence of 60 years. However, with the final twist in this ongoing story, the defendant's murder conviction was overturned on appeal for the reason that the jurors should not have been told by defense attorneys not to consider an involuntary manslaughter verdict after the trial judge said that they could consider that option, and the defendant had requested they be allowed to do so. The matter was finally resolved in support of Shamlodia's conviction for both first-degree murder and the residential arson. The appellate court in Illinois ruled thereafter. They had reviewed the appeal and affirmed the lower court's original judgment. And this piece of shit, I guess we could say, who once again wanted to protect his honor, is behind bars.